Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Welcome to the Young Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Yvette Adams. Today, we're meeting another amazing 13-year-old who is tackling the world's problems. Meet Holley Somerville, who refers to herself as a kid on a mission, and wait till you hear what she's doing. She really is a woman on a mission. As CEO and founder of the Stardust Foundation and Tell Someone Who Cares, she's taking on some of the world's biggest problems by doing performances, keynote speeches, singing, constant fundraising. She calls herself an earth warrior, an actor. She's a speaker and even a slam poet. Welcome to the show, Holley.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. And you even drove all the way down from Byron Bay to be with us today, so we really appreciate that. It's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, it is.
And just fitting it in amongst your big schedule because you have so much going on. Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, basically, my mission is to spread kindness and compassion and to really educate and inspire people to stand up for what they believe in and to unite everyone together to co-create a sustainable and peaceful future for our planet. And I like to be a voice for those who have none.
So that sounds like an amazing thing to be doing, but how does that translate into a business?
So I have two businesses at the moment. One of them is called the Stardust Foundation, which I created when I was 8 years old to help the planet, people, and animals in need. And then my other one is called Tell Someone Who Cares. And basically, it's a social enterprise driven by a product range, a sustainable alternative product range. It contains the alternative to palm oil, and I created it to disrupt the palm oil industry and to stop the palm oil destruction that's happening in the Borneo rainforests.
That is such an amazing mission to be tackling when you're 13. Good on you.
Thank you.
How did you get started? You just mentioned you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
What happened when you were 8 that made you go, I'm going to start some businesses?
Well, when I was around 7 or 8 years old, my mum was telling me about how, she was telling me about homeless people, about how some people have no food, water, shelter, about endangered species that were disappearing off the planet. And I was shocked to hear this because I was 7 or 8, so I'd never heard anything like this. And ever since then, I felt really empowered to do something about it. So I guess what I do is always come from that deep passion to make the world a better place and to help wherever I can.
So when you're 8 and you hear about these things, homelessness and so on, how do you even dream up the idea? Do you remember where you were when you went, that's it, that's what I'll do?
Yes, actually. One day I was with my mom and my sister and we went down to the supermarket, and as usual, mom was on the phone and I was really bored. So I got out the car and I threw down my school hat and I started singing, busking. And people actually put money in my hat. So I was really taken by that and I was really surprised. And my mom said, that was pretty amazing. You want to do it again? And I said, yes. So the following weekend, I did a proper busking session in BRiN, and within an hour, I'd raised about $100. And
Pretty good for an hour's work.
yeah. And then I decided that I wanted to donate that money to homeless people and endangered species, which were the two key areas I was focused on at the time. And from then, it's just snowballed. Tell Someone Who Cares was a bit more recent. I started it around a year ago after watching the documentary Rise of the Eco Warriors, which explains all about the palm oil destruction. And after watching that, I just felt inspired to do something about it.
Okay. So even how did you connect to these organisations to donate that money, or is it your own charity, so to speak?
Well, my charity foundation connects with other organisations who are doing good in the world, and we organise a donation. And I suppose it's just whatever organisation comes across my radar, and unfortunately there are a lot of issues right now in the world that need dealing with. And I'd love to be able to help them all, but really it's whatever comes across my radar or whatever issue seems important at the time.
Are there certain areas or issues that you tend to focus though on? Because like you say, there's so many. Like which ones do you choose to tackle that you're really passionate about?
Well, I kind of sort it into 3 categories: the planet, the people, and the animals in need.
Is there any particular animals or locations or issues?
I really just have to say everything I could possibly help with.
Okay, fair enough. So what were the first steps you took in getting this started? You have this idea, you decide, you make your money, you decide to connect to organisations. What do you have to do to start a business?
Well, with Tell Someone Who Cares, it actually takes a bit of time to start up a business. But what I did to Tell Someone Who Cares, just started off, was I teamed up with the movie producers of Rise of the Eco Warriors and also the Dayak people of the Borneo rainforests. And they have an amazing sustainable no-waste factory in the Borneo rainforest. So I teamed up with them. And
can I just stop you there? How did you team up? Like, do you just Google them, email them? How did that connection come about?
Like I said, I was friends with the movie producers, and they kind of connected us both up.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah. And they have, like I said, a sustainable no-waste factory where they're producing the alternative to palm oil called Rainforest Borneo Nut Butter. So we teamed up, and now we're creating an alternative product range, starting with a beautiful soap.
Okay. So how long's the soap been around for? Is it a fairly new thing, or?
Yeah, sort of. It's our first product of the product range. We're just kind of getting it all started. And I sell the soap from my website on the e-commerce shop and basically wherever I can. Like if I'm doing a performance, I'll bring a stall and I can sell the products from there.
So what's the website if people listening or watching this want to grab some soap and support you?
Well, we're still kind of developing the website for Tell Someone Who Cares, but it is tellsomeonewhocares.org, and then the one for my charity foundation is thestardustfoundation.org.
Yeah, they're great names.
Thanks.
What about Tell Someone Who Cares? How did that name come about?
Well, I'm all about positive messages. So it was kind of, that name came about because I was trying to turn like rude youth slang talk into a positive message.
Yeah.
You're like tell someone who cares. Like I was trying to turn that into a literal thing. Like if you hear about this movement, you can literally tell someone else who cares and spread the word.
Yeah. So how do you go with other people your age? Because you're doing some pretty exceptional stuff for your age. Do you surround yourself with other young entrepreneurs or other eco-warriors, if you like?
Yeah.
Or do you find yourself feeling like you're a little different to everybody else?
A bit of both, actually. For me, it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. I have met a lot of other inspiring entrepreneurs, and all my friends are really supportive of what I do. Like all my friends at school, they're generally really understanding, and they love what I do, and they love to help.
Yeah. So how do you apportion your time? Because you are at school, you've got singing and dancing career going on as well, and then acting.
They're singing and acting,
and then
yes.
you've got the business stuff as well, don't you? So take me through a week. Like, how do you split up your time?
Well, it's an endless juggling act, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, my mum helps me coordinate a lot of it. She obviously drives me to all the events. She supports me with everything I do, and she's definitely a big help. Also, my school, like I said, in particular the teachers and my principal are all very supportive, and they don't mind me taking time off of school for an important event or something like today.
Can I say what school it is? You want to do a shout out for them?
Yeah, I go to BRiN Bay High School.
Okay, I know another kid who goes there. You might know him.
Oh, cool.
So they're very supportive of all of this sort of stuff?
Yes, definitely.
That must be really helpful.
It is.
So you come across to me as just so confident. Is that something that comes easy to you, or is that something you feel comes about because you're just so passionate about what you're doing?
Well, a bit of both, actually. I love to be confident and professional on stage and otherwise, but I also try to be humble because I don't want people to think that, I don't want people to put me on a pedestal and think that they can't be anything like me. I'm really all about inspiring and empowering people to pursue their passions like I'm doing.
Have you always been like that? Would you consider yourself a confident person?
Yeah, I would.
Yep, even from young. Were you a performer when you were young? Always been one of those, toddlers with nappies singing into a hairbrush or whatever?
Yes, definitely. I said I've been singing since I was around 7 or 8, but actually I've been singing forever. I decided to go pro when I was around 7 or 8, but I've always been singing, performing. Whenever we went to a shop, I'd arrange all the clothing racks into a little stage and do a performance. It was really funny.
Fantastic. Is there any certain music or acting that you particularly like doing?
Well, for music, I really like the jazz, soul, rock, and blues genre. I do a bit of rap and slam poetry as well.
Awesome.
And I've recently started writing my own songs, which are like a fusion of all those genres.
Fantastic. So still exploring it a lot, but you've got a few niches, it sounds like. So I see you already do sing at a range of events or venues. What sort of places are you performing at the moment?
Anywhere I can. Like, for example, today.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm asked to speak in an event, maybe about a particularly heavy political or environmental issue, at the end of the speech or performance, I like to perform a song to kind of lift the energy and get the crowd moving.
What a great combo. You must be really sought after for that, do you think? because you can do not only an amazing speech, but also the music as well.
Yeah, I love being able to perform in that way.
Yeah, fantastic. I also noticed that you blog a lot, so you must like the writing or creative expression of all forms. Do you get any help with that writing, or is that a skill that comes easy to you?
Well, my mum helps me sometimes because of time management. I don't have time to do it all myself. I don't have as much time to do blogging as I would like because I'm always so busy. But I do really enjoy blogging. It's a great way to get my message out there, and I've always loved writing. It's something I really enjoy. But yeah, recently I've started working on an article for the BRiN Guide magazine.
Cool.
For next year's edition.
Yep.
I'm going to be a guest writer on that, so that's really exciting.
Can we ask what that's about?
Basically, it's for anyone who wants to know what the energy of BRiN is like if they may be traveling to BRiN. It basically explains all about BRiN. So a lot of people write articles about themselves, their career, like if they're an entrepreneur, and how that's tied in with BRiN and how BRiN has inspired them if they've done performances at BRiN.
There's a lot of creative people in Byron Bay, aren't there?
Yes, there is very creative energy there.
Yeah. And so tell me about your family as well. You've got brothers, sisters, live with mum, dad. What's your setup?
I live with my mom and my grandma and my little sister Lily and my 2 cats.
Fantastic.
And my dad doesn't live with us, but he comes down to visit us every week.
Yep.
My family is definitely really supportive of what I do. I really appreciate all their help and guidance, and they're really amazing.
It's pretty important, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, especially when you're doing the juggle like you are.
Yeah.
Well, Holly, I think we'll take a break right there because we're getting a really good sense of you and all the amazing things you're doing, but there's so much more to share. So make sure you come back from the break and we'll tell you way more about Holly, books she's been featured in, future plans, and more about her business. Hello and welcome back to the Young Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Yvette Adams, and this is where we meet incredible young people doing amazing things with business. Today we're talking to Holley Somerville of Byron Bay, who's a real social entrepreneur. She's got all sorts going on. So Holly, we've talked about earlier the businesses that you have, not just one but several, but I'd really like to delve a bit more into how you set those up, because maybe there's other teenagers out there or even older people who want to set up their first business. What are some of the steps you had to take to get everything established?
Well, I had to set up the social media pages, design the website, also the packaging as well, register for a business name. I would definitely say if you're starting a business and starting out as an entrepreneur, it's definitely great to seek mentorship and to not think you have to do everything yourself, because I do receive a lot of help from my peers, my mentors, my mom, my family. I come up with the names and the idea of the movements, everything like that. I do organize a lot of it, but I don't do all of it myself. It's important to know that when you're starting a business, you're not alone, and it's always okay to ask for help and mentorship.
Can I go into that some more? How do you ask for help? If you're a bit scared or you don't really know who might help, what would be your advice to people in that situation?
Well, I suppose if you're afraid to ask for help, my suggestion is never be afraid to ask for help, because people are really supportive. Like when I was just starting out and when I was seeking mentorship for my charity foundation and also Tell Someone Who Cares, everybody was really supportive and everybody was more than happy to give advice. And I would just say don't be afraid to ask.
So even mentors though, let's say, what if someone's listening going, I don't really know anyone I could ask. Where did you find your mentors?
Well, a lot of them on social media. I've definitely found a lot of great mentors.
So there were strangers that you just went and looked at and went, that'd be a great mentor.
Yeah.
I'll ask them.
And I've contacted them and they've been more than happy to send a reply, like just send like an email or a Facebook post or something like that about how you can become a great entrepreneur. Just any questions you have, they're more than happy to answer usually. A lot of them I've met at my events and performances. And I've been to a lot of business courses as well. So that's where I found a lot of my mentors.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.